Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Miss Damali Wilson.
World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, or on www.KBOB899.com, or tuning into any of the News You Can Use media networks, which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, September 10th, 2025. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media network, powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mom and them and tell them you can dial in at 918-856-3073 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So on today's show, it's the medical report with Dr. Andre Ferdue. Our topic, how to stay alive when you're in the hospital. We're going to talk about it.
Yep. We'll also give you the top 3 tips for better health.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are the corner of 36th Street North and North Peoria just got better. Find out how. Mayor Nichols and Governor Stitt are at odds regarding Operation Safe. Find out how. And help Tulsa win a grant to host more free live music events. Find out how you can do your part, birthdays, and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media network, powered by World One Development. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back, y'all.
The 36th Street North Event Center is proud to kick off another great season of social gatherings with family and friends. And no matter what the size of your next event, the 36th Street North Event Center has you covered. From event decor to live DJs, even catering, and a world-class sound and lighting system, 36th Street North has your event covered. We offer a state-of-the-art event booking and planning process from start to finish. And whether you're hosting 100 or 1,000, 36th Street North Event Center is the premier event center of North Tulsa, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. Share the experience at 36th Street North Event Center and see why we are the #1 choice for upscale events, from weddings to birthdays, corporate functions, holiday parties, and so much more. Visit us today at 36theventcenter.com or call and reserve your spot at 918-200-9046.
Are you or someone you know just as involved? Are you or someone you know in need of support services? Don't worry, Fitting Back In got you covered. We offer life skill workshops, career development, job search, substance abuse counseling, and more. We are located at 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74115. Give us a call at 918-592-3500. Follow us at Fitting Back In Tulsa. Also, visit us on our website for services at www.fittingbackininc.org. Our services are available only in Tulsa County.
Looking to take your event to the next level with professionalism and energy? Contact World One Development. We host events, have radio personalities, offer community engagement and videography. We also do live radio remotes, red carpet appearances, create promos, event recaps, drops, and flyers. We also create customized advertising packets to promote your business, organization, or program. Visit our website at world1development.com. You can also reach us on social media at World One Development.
KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development News you can use. Charles and Damali, and we are back.
We are back. So news you can use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things. One, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
What's going on, family? I'm Charles Harper, Chief Executive Officer of World One Development, which includes Feeding Back In, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and NYCU.FM. My job, because the world wants to know, is to provide leadership for all aspects of World One Development with the emphasis on long-term goals, growth, profits, and a return on that investment. And I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Chief Operating Officer for World One Development. And my job is designing and implementing business operations and establishing policies that promote company culture and vision. I'm also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, please inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I'm also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
Damali, what's up?
What's happening?
What's up?
Man, the allergies got me.
Allergy season?
Man.
Yeah. I seen breaking news. Damali is back.
No.
Yeah, she's back in allergy jail.
Right.
I don't know when she getting out. It's a minimum of 48 to 72 hours.
Right.
But it's not a cold. And it's not COVID.
Cold,
I'd be like, lean back.
Right. I wouldn't even
back.
be here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be here.
We've been working long enough that I know the difference.
Yes.
You know, nowadays you can't sneeze.
No.
You can't cough.
Mm-mm.
You can't even burp without making people panic because
what was that?
it's too much stuff out here in these
Exactly.
streets and we got to be careful. But I tell you what, it's good vibes in Tulsa.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great day. Weather-wise,
Yes.
it's a lot going on. It's a
It
buzz all around the city. So
It is.
what were you up to this weekend?
Man, so we had a lot going on this weekend. It seemed like it kind of turned into family time this weekend. So I actually spent on Saturday, I spent time with my graduating class, the Booker T. Washington class of 1986.
Yeah.
We lost one of our fellow Hornets.
Man.
And so we participated in a memorial service for him and his brother. They actually passed away 2 weeks apart.
That is
Weird, just the weirdest thing
that's
ever.
tough.
And so we celebrated their lives. Both of them were phenomenal assets to the Hornet family. And so, that was a huge loss for us. Melvin, who was the older brother, he actually was on the original football team that actually won. They went undefeated, and they just got put into the Tulsa Public Schools Hall of Fame.
Wow, for going undefeated
in Tulsa Public Schools. And so he was a QB for that football team that during that time. And so there's just a huge loss. So a lot of, the Hornets showed out for that. And then we also, I went to football. The granddaughters are cheerleaders, both of them.
Was busy.
First grader and a third grader.
Right.
So, after the funeral, then we actually went out to the Owasso track and watched football. Now the football team needs some help.
Hey.
But the cheerleaders did a wonderful job, and both of the girls got the spirit stick.
So that means they had some real spirit. That means they was up on their tiptoes cheering for the team.
And
they got the spirit stick, but the spirit didn't get into the players' legs.
Not quite.
But they on the way. They doing good. So y'all keep supporting.
Game number 2.
They're gonna break through. You need 3 games to warm up when you're young.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you don't know if you really want to play football till somebody knock your helmet off. And at that moment, you pick football or Jesus. You pick the way that you want to go because you don't really know. Because I'm telling you, it sounds good when you're telling your people, man, I'm finna get out here. I'm going to the NFL.
Right.
But when you get hit and knocked down, like life sometimes, you be ready to do stuff in life. But when you get hit, man, you got to recover. So the kids, they'll be all right.
Okay.
Hey, let me tell you, my weekend, I'm getting ready to be able to bring along a 3rd generation.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yeah. So my son is here. People thought I was like, Charles, you look much younger. I was like, thank you, but that was not me. That was my son, and he's 30, Khalil, and his fiance, Alana, they was down, and we had a baby shower.
Yes.
We got that 3rd generation coming up. So his side of the family, my side of the family, they both all quiet and laid back. So, he went to West Point, played football, so some of those guys came back.
Yes.
He went to Union, and some of them people came back. His wife played volleyball at TU and stuff, so she's cool. Not all about sports, but they just been together for 5 years, and they decided to jump the broom, tie the knot, have kids, and all that good stuff.
Yes, all at one time.
So we had a good time. So I was happy to see the Arkansas family, the people from Oklahoma City and all around to come and pull up and show up because, hey, we got a village, y'all.
Okay.
And y'all part of the village, too.
Absolutely.
I ain't letting none of y'all off the hook. If I know y'all,
you part of the village.
Y'all are part of the village. I do it like we used to do back in the day. If you see my little grandson doing something, any of y'all can grab him.
Hey, little Harper, get over here.
Little Harper, get yourself together. I'll tell you right now. I done already co-signed. Go ahead and do it.
Yes, absolutely.
But it was good.
But you have amazing kids and grandkids, so I don't foresee that being a problem. But just in case, we got the green light.
Just in case.
Y'all ready for the Black History Trivia question?
I think I am.
This one is going to be a great one just because this is some information that I want you guys to know. Not necessarily because I wanted to trick you like I normally do, but we're going to go ahead and do the question anyway. So Black History Trivia. Are you guys ready? All right. What country just launched a new internet system that will bypass that of Western influence? Was it A, Africa? Was it B, Russia? Was it C, Asia? Or was it D, South America?
Girl, you just woke me up. No, I'm already awake, but the way you read that again, I'm just making sure I heard what I think I heard.
What country just launched a new internet system that will bypass that of Western influence?
So somebody messing around.
Was it A, Africa, B, Russia, C, Asia, or D, South America?
Somebody messing with Google? Is that what?
They are. They absolutely are. So what do you guys say on the live? Look, ain't nobody answering.
Look, you know it. They're Googling. Now we just
don't Google on Google because Google ain't gonna be happy with you.
Yeah, let me give some quick shout outs real quick, man. We got a couple thousand people on this live. Appreciate that. Miss Baines Childs, welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in. Dr. Mario Choice.
Hey, Mario.
Work, he's here, my brother. We went to
Martisha
school.
Said A. I see.
She jumped in there.
Hold on, where am I? Yeah, Martisha said A. Somebody said C. I don't know who that is.
Mom is on the live. See, Michael Brewer Sr. was the first one on the live, only because the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys. That's the only reason. He don't really want to be on. He don't really want to see us today, but I seen Eagles flying around my house this morning.
Right.
And the Eagles were saying Michael is looking for you. Right. So I was sure he would be on the live. So he's in here. Bernell is on. Thanks for tuning in to the show. Your mom is on. My mom is in, and many, many more. And Lord, we've got a whole lot of secret listeners.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate y'all
always
tuning in. So we live on KBOB. We hear you on
Franchelle
YouTube.
Abdallah
is in the building.
Yes, from Rwanda.
And she's over there in Rwanda right now. What time is it? about 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yes.
But you in. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Be good. She said, "See."
Okay, I got it. And who else? All right, so y'all come on and put your answers in. Don't be scared.
Just like that. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming up next. This is the second Wednesday of the month. That means it's a special edition. And our guy's here. You know, he live. He didn't send no representative or nobody. He is here. You know, I seen his shoes. Damali, I'm going to get his shoes if we were the same size. So we're going to talk about that after the show. Right. But we're going to take a break. Coming up next, we got the medical report with Dr. Andre Fairdew. He's in the building, y'all. KBOB 89.9 FM News. You can use Charles and Damali. We'll be right back, y'all. Are you or someone you know just as involved? Are you or someone you know in need of support services? Don't worry, Fitting Back In got you covered. We offer life skill workshops, career development, job search, substance abuse counseling, and more. We are located at 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74115. Give us a call at 918-592-3500. Follow us at Fitting Back In Tulsa. Also, visit us on our website for services at www.fittingbackininc.org. Our services are available only in Tulsa County.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive, reaching the community. The Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa, I see you here. In Tulsa, in Tulsa chillin'.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM. Chilling on the corner in my 6th fault. Hypertension and stress. I don't need no more. 1, 2, 3 into the fault. The doctor's at the door, ready to make an entrance. The doctor's in. Doctor, please help us save the world. Oh, yeah. It's time for the medical report with Dr. Andre Fairdew. Right here, right now. With Charles and Damali on World One Development's News You Can Use. What's up, Doc?
I know.
Love that.
Shout out to JB Smith. I miss you, man. I miss you.
Right, yeah.
Hey, put that pork chop sandwich down.
You already know.
Get on in here. Come through here and say what's going on. I was thinking the same thing. I was listening. I'm like, man, he had a grand slam with that one. He had a grand slam. Doc, how's it been going, man? Good to see you.
Hey, listen, it's always good to be seen. So, it's busy in the hospital, and we're going to actually talk about some topics in relation to being in the hospital and what things we can do to improve our ability to get out of the hospital.
Right. And those things, I tell you, I don't know what's going on today. I think I know, because a lot of secret listeners on today. People have been texting me all morning. They just want to know. So what we'll do, you see, fam, you want Africa, everybody's in here today. Asia, all kinds of people in today. So I'm going to open up by you just give the people a little bit about yourself. Man, where you went to school, where you went to college, where you from, just a little something about you so they'll know.
All right. Well, I am originally from Los Angeles. I did all of my formative training and my undergraduate, graduate school, medical school, internship, fellowship. I did it all at UCLA. So I'm a Bruin through and through, even though our football team is trash right now.
They're going through it.
They're going through it right now. The dear Lord brought me and my family to Tulsa about 10 years ago. And I would say of all the places that I've lived, which includes Dallas and Virginia and other places, Tulsa has been the most like home for me. Yes. And so I love it here. I love going back home to see my people, but I only need to be there for about a week, and then I'm ready to I'm ready to get up out of there. Now my wife might not feel that way because she still calls Los Angeles home, but I tell her, listen, wherever you have a mortgage, or you got multiple mortgages, wherever the largest mortgage is, that's where you live. That's home. That's home.
Right.
So, but shout out to my beautiful bride of we've been together 32 years, and this year we'll be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. So
30?
Shout out to my baby.
30 years. Yes.
Good
It's
stuff,
always
good
good
stuff.
to see her. Matter of fact, I owe her a call because we're trying to get her on the show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think she's got it locked in.
Good.
I think it's next week, but holler at her, make sure.
Yes, we'll get it together.
And that's something, Damali, that it's been like, man, how fast do 5 years go by?
Man.
We thought we connected. I'm talking about in the old station way back. We barely had a mic. I think the mic was like an old stereo system, something that we got out the house. But we upgraded a couple times since then.
I think we had that styrofoam cup with the string in it.
Right.
You was using that.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
And I was on my way over and I was thinking, man, I really appreciate Doc for being willing to do this because a lot of people, and we'll get to talk about it some today, people be scared to go to the hospital. They be nervous for whatever reason, probably many reasons, but nevertheless, you come in and you give people tips so folks are healthier, people blood pressure is better, the diabetical, I'm not even gonna say diabetes, they're dealing with that better and all of that. So I keep telling people he is not your primary care physician.
Right.
You got to still go see them, but I do appreciate you giving people so many tips because 80% of the things that happen to people in our community is preventative.
Amen.
And man, I see all kind of people jogging. They barely running. They sweating, but it's that the doctor told me to get out here and I'm doing it. So we appreciate that.
Amen.
So one of the things that both Doc and Charles have alluded to is that people are, kind of nervous about going to the doctor and nervous about going to the hospital, especially. I have heard some old timers say, hey, if I go to the hospital, I ain't coming back. And that may or may not be true depending on what's going on. And so what we want to do is talk about some things because, on this show, what we're about is education. We want to educate our listeners and our viewers about some things that are, things that are happening and how we can overcome those challenges. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of miscommunication, misinformation. And so we want to dispel that. But I do want to read some stats really quick, and we're going to punt these out, but then we're going to, unpack them. So hospital safety disparities by race is what we're going to talk about. So what they're saying is maternal mortality. According to the CDC in 2021, Black women are nearly 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. This is the CDC 2021. All of these come from reliable sources. Surgical outcomes. Black patients are 42% more likely to die after elective surgery compared to white patients. Number 3, hospital-acquired infections. Hospitals serving predominantly Black and Hispanic patients report higher infection rates, according to the CDC. Sepsis mortality. Black patients with sepsis are nearly 2 times more likely to die than white patients. And then the last one, emergency department bias. Black patients are less likely to receive adequate pain treatment, including opioids, as compared to white patients. Now, all of this comes from reliable sources. So I did do my research and didn't just, listen to Ray on the corner.
Let's do this. Let's unpack some because that's a lot right there. That's a lot right there. That's a big bite. And so Doc, now you always complete the fifth on anything because we love you. You are brother. Right. But this just comes from people just constantly asking us about stuff and being nervous about different things. But you're in the hospital. That's your field. That's your love. That's your passion. When you hear this, first, what do you think about it? Or is it relevant? Is it myth versus fact?
It's not myth. And the challenge is that we don't have enough time on this show to talk about all of the factors. But one thing that I think we need to do is that it's very difficult to determine or ascertain a bias that someone else may have. I can't walk in the hospital and say, hey, you and you, I know you guys don't take care of patients of color as well as you do patients who are not of color. So if we put the onus back on us, which I think is always best, what we need to do a better job of, and one of the reasons why we created the show, Our Community, Our Health, is that we need to have a better understanding of health, and more specifically, our health and our community's health. So if you look in our community, hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, obesity, obstructive sleep apnea are, let's just take those 5. Those we have a higher percentage of those in our community than in white communities. Okay. So if you start off and you have more medical conditions, and those medical conditions may not be as well managed because of lack of understanding, miscommunication, fear, and the likes, when you then go to the hospital, you're not working at the same level as someone else.
Right.
You know, I use the statement all the time in the hospital that if you had a twin that was laying in bed next to you and you had these conditions, hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, obstructive sleep apnea, and your twin did not have any of those,
Right.
then your risk of having a stroke is probably somewhere around 14 to 16 times higher than your twin. Okay.
Right.
The problem is that we don't have twins. Some people do, but when you look at our Caucasian brothers, our Caucasian neighbors, their levels of medical conditions and stressors are just different than ours. You know, as a person of color, we walk through life with different stressors than others have.
Right.
And we walk through life to some degree with more stressors than other people have. And whether that is due to racism, sexism, is that due to living in a food desert, is that due to lack of communication, lack of understanding, all of those things play a role. So you take that composite, and now you take that individual who has that composite and you put them in a hospital setting, and now they have a major condition in the hospital. They need surgery. They have sepsis. They've had a stroke. They've had, they have cellulitis. They have these other conditions. The deck is stacked greater against that individual than their Caucasian counterpart. So what do? What we have to do is that we have to be better informed. We have to be more diligent in our approach to making sure that our needs get met. We want to make sure that, and we've talked about this on our show, when you walk into your doctor's office, the days of Marcus Welby, MD, where, essentially he shows up at the house and says, you need to do A, B, C, D, and E, and then you do it. Those days are gone.
Right.
Okay. The relationship that a physician and a patient has is a more fluid relationship, meaning that if you're on a blood pressure medication that does not bode well for you because it gives you fatigue or it gives you palpitations or it gives you swelling, you need to have a conversation with your physician about that, because it's not a matter of, well, that's what I want to prescribe. You may want to prescribe that. I'm not taking that. You need to give me something that adjusts better to my physiology, my anatomy, and sometimes to my race. There are some medications that we just handle better than other medications. So by us being better informed, by us being more geared towards preventative health, then when you get into the hospital, your demographic is now maybe more in line with the demographic that some of our Caucasian counterparts may have, that may allow you to have a better outcome. What we're talking about here from an African-American standpoint is the same thing for Native Americans, and then it's the same thing for Hispanic Americans.
Right.
So, this is not just a Black issue. This is a color issue that we all, are living, and we all need to do a much better job of making sure that we have the information we need so we can be the best advocate for not only ourselves, but for our family and for our community.
So I love this. This is something that we've been talking about on this show from the very beginning. I don't think that the narrative has changed, not one bit. Doc always says, know your numbers. So it goes back to you being an advocate for you. Basically it is not up to someone else to make sure that you're okay. You need to be making sure that you're okay. And just because somebody tells you something, that doesn't mean that you can't get a second opinion or a third opinion. Doc is like, hey, get as many opinions as you need to get, to make sure that you're okay. So Doc, let me ask this. So is there, are there certain protocols that you prescribe for folks when they are in the hospital?
Well, the world that I live in, as a neurologist, there are protocols for stroke. There are protocols for multiple sclerosis. There are protocols for peripheral neuropathy. The thing about medicine is algorithm based. Everything we do is now evidence based, as it should be. And evidence based mainly means that typically there are clinical trials that have been done over a number of years that have looked at certain medications and certain procedures and certain techniques and looked at that with tens of thousands, sometimes, particularly in the cardiology world, sometimes in other disciplines where the medical condition may be more rare. It may not be tens of thousands, it may be hundreds of patients.
Right.
But, everything that we do should be evidence-based, which means that if you walk into the hospital and someone says, for sepsis, you have sepsis, ma'am, and we're going to try these antibiotics on you. There's nothing wrong with you asking the question, well, can you tell me a little bit about these antibiotics, and what does the data say about these antibiotics and the condition that I have? But that comes down to a level of understanding you need to have, and also a level of comfort that you need to have when you're having those kind of conversations, because particularly for our older patient population, they've kind of grown up in that era where the doctor told you what to do and you more or less just went along for the ride.
Right.
Now, when you have family members, if Ray Ray's at the bedside and Ray Ray now wants to get, indignant with the doctor, you're not helping grandma.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Ray Ray needs to go sit down and maybe he needs an anxiety medication.
Right.
But the important thing is that to be educated. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions. If you run across somebody who does not want to answer your questions, that's a flaw. That's their flaw. That's not your flaw. That's their flaw. Then it's a matter of, okay, well, if you're not willing to have free flowing conversation with me, as long as it's intelligent conversation, as long as it's respectful conversation, then we should be able to have dialogue. And if we can have dialogue, please inform me of what I'm taking. What are these side effects of it? And then at the same time, as we're processing that information, if we have a tendency to hang on to the rarest of side effects, this medication will cause me to turn purple. Well, listen, if it's going to cause me to turn purple, I'm absolutely not taking that medication. Well, that's a 0.0003% chance of that happening.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So again, let's kind of weigh the information. If this medication can possibly give you 60-70% improvement in how you feel, and there is one rare potential complication that you may end up getting, that if you take the medication and stop the medication, you can move on and not be affected long term.
Yeah.
Okay. Be thinking about that. Weigh risk and benefit. We as a medical population and medical providers, we weigh risk and benefit. If the risk is high and the benefit's low, you should never undergo that procedure or take that medication. If the risk and benefit are the same, then it really relates to how severe is the medical condition. Sometimes there has to be some risk. Cancer is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Cancer is a terrible condition to have. There are medications that you take that their goal is to not only kill cancer cells, they kill normal cells. But the benefit and risk are such that we decide to go down this road because of what the research has shown.
Let me, go ahead.
And then it comes down to, if benefit's high and risk is low, and you just need to be informed. But you know what? Make the appropriate decision, and if there's a benefit to be gathered, then to gain that benefit.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Doc. So, when is it the red flag to get a second opinion? I think a lot of you're coming in, you're a family, you sit down.
Hey, listen, that's an internal thing.
That's an internal. That's a gut instinct.
Hey, listen. You know what?
Okay.
The Holy Spirit lies in all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The Holy Spirit will let you know if something is good, bad, or indifferent. There are conversations that I've had with patients that I will tell them, it is perfectly fine for you to get a second opinion. I'm here. Okay.
Right.
I'm here as your advocate, but there's a lot going on here. And so since there is a lot going on here, it's good for you to see maybe a surgical approach to this, or to talk to another physician who may be able to have a similar skill set, but may want to do things differently. But I think that if you feel that, hey, I need more information, get more information. There's nothing wrong with that.
So it's just as simple as that. Let me ask this. What I'm doing is so many people on the live, and they texting me. I'm like, y'all better get on the live and ask y'all questions. They're lining up. But so emergency room, it's nothing about an emergency room that's an emergency for anybody, or it seems that way. You run to the emergency room, you be checking on people that got there at 6 o'clock, and it's 6 a.m. and say, I haven't seen nobody yet.
Right.
Now, you don't have to give up the tips or the secrets, but what maybe speeds up that process? And then, Damali, if you have like a real life situation that because that's what makes things relatable. Because I know I have one or two, and but with that, when they say emergency room and you have been there for 5 or 6 hours, just for people's understanding, what's the protocol to that? So you don't need to be fighting in the emergency room. Don't throw nothing. No. This is just what it is at the hospital on the weekend.
I can promise you that you won't get seen.
That will not speed it up.
They will be escorting you out to the curb.
And
whatever condition that you have, you know what, you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the important thing to keep in mind, and for my emergency room friends and brothers, listen, the goal for them, and they want to see patients in a timely fashion.
Right.
The problem is that when you get patients back through that door, there are procedures that need to be done, whether that's head CTs, whether that's getting an MRI, whether that's getting blood draws, whether that's checking your vital signs, whether that's implementing, medications, depending upon what the patient has. And the patient that is in front of you is the most important patient. So you and grandmama may be in the waiting area, but the patient that is back in the room with Dr. Jones, that's his most important patient. You need to take care of that patient, make sure that patient is stable before you go into the waiting area and talk to grandmama. So with that being said, it is important for people to know that there are other avenues than going to the emergency room. There are urgent care facilities spread out throughout throughout the city. And you can always go to an urgent care. And urgent care, a lot of times they may be able to get you some form of imaging. They may be able to check your blood pressure, check your medications, and then determine, hey, this is above us. This needs to now go to an emergency room, and they will facilitate an ambulance service to come get you. Now, if you've been at an urgent care and now you're being sent to an emergency room, you are now at a higher level of urgency, and that individual may make their way back sooner into the emergency room. One thing to keep in mind is that we have a tendency to stay home too darn long. Okay. If you're having chest pains and this has been going on now for 2 days, shame on you.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're a family member and you know that your loved one has been at home for the last 2 days with chest pain, shame on you too. That's an individual that, that's a potential medical emergency. If somebody's having a heart attack or having a stroke or having an epileptic seizure, any of those are medical emergencies.
Right.
When patients have those, there are protocols in place to get them back into the emergency room setting with the physicians expedited. That's an expedited service.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you've got symptoms that now have been going on for 5, 6, 7, 12, 15, 30 days, okay, the question is that something your primary care physician can manage? Okay.
Right.
And if we're talking about, well, I've got some tingling in my big toe that I didn't have last week, you don't need to go to the emergency room for that because you're not going to get seen right away.
Right.
Okay. Now, in the situation that somebody may have symptoms, they don't have a primary care physician. Okay. And it's like, okay, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Okay. Going to an urgent care is an option. Another option is that, if we're talking about a non-emergent thing, emergent situation, is to go to the emergency room at an off time. If you go to the emergency room in the middle of the night, there's less people usually in the waiting area. There's a greater chance you can be seen. But that's also an individual that if there's something that's been going on for 15, 20, 30 days, what are they going to do in the emergency room that is going to be so different than if you have a primary care physician for you to contact them and say, hey, I've been experiencing this now for a week or two.
Right.
But we need to be better, particularly people of color. We need to be better about when you have something that is going on out of the ordinary, have it seen sooner than later. Because the longer you wait, you get into a situation where there may not be a lot I can do about it. In my case, someone comes in and sees me and they've had left-sided weakness now for 2 days. Well, if they have a blood clot in the brain, I can't go pick it, go pick it out at this particular point because it's now 2 days old. I can't give them clot busting medication because we only have a 4.5 hour window for that. So some of the really acute therapy that I would be able to provide, I can't because I'm outside of the window. Now it's a matter of, hey, you know what? I need to put you on blood pressure medication. You need to be on aspirin and so on and so forth. Those are things that can actually be done by a primary care physician sometimes. You can order an MRI scan to be done as an outpatient if we're talking about symptoms that are now a week old or 10 days old, because really the MRI is likely not going to change your management. So it's important. Everyone should have a primary care physician. Everybody should know your numbers. If you know what your numbers are, and it's like my blood pressure is typically 130/70, and now my blood pressure is 180/110, that's a huge change.
Yes.
Right.
That needs to be evaluated, and that needs to be evaluated sooner than later.
Right.
So, there are other avenues, but I don't want people to think of any color that the emergency room is a situation where people are picking and choosing, and they don't necessarily want to see me because I'm a person of color.
Right.
It has nothing to do with it. What it comes down to is that when you get through those doors, those doctors are seeing those patients, they have to make sure that those patients are stable before they can transition on to a different patient. If you've got really sick patients back there, you're not going to get seen as quickly as you would like. You will get seen timely, but you will not be seen as quickly as you like because they're trying to manage the patient that is in front of them.
Right. Hey, y'all, we're going to take a quick break, man, because I know that was a lot. Doc broke it all the way down.
Okay.
But we're going to make sure you have some nuggets and tips in your back pocket. So we got another special guest. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to jump into what he got going on. Then we're just going to be a family the rest of the time, the rest of the show. But I do want Doc to be ready to give people, despite these disparities, here's 3 things that you can still do to make sure you're okay. So that's 1. Then 2, here are 3 tips that you can do on your own prior to have to even go that can just make your quality of life better. Things that you can do. You don't have to be rich to do this. You don't have to have access to all. It's certain things you still can do.
Amen.
To make your quality of life better. But coming up next, we got Ed in the building, Damali.
Yes,
We're going to jump into something special that you need to know about. This KBOB 89.9 News You Can Use, Charlie Damali, and we'll be right back, y'all. Are you or someone you know just as involved? Are you or someone you know in need of support services? Don't worry, Fitting Back In got you covered. We offer life skill workshops, career development, job search, substance abuse counseling, and more. We are located at 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74115. Give us a call at 918-592-3500. Follow us at Fitting Back In Tulsa. Also, visit us on our website for services at www.fittingbackininc.org. Our services are available only in Tulsa County.
The 36th Street North Event Center is proud to kick off another great season of social gatherings with family and friends. And no matter what the size of your next event, the 36th Street North Event Center has you covered. From event decor to live DJs, even catering, and a world-class sound and lighting system, 36th Street North has your event covered. We offer a state-of-the-art event booking and planning process from start to finish. And whether you're hosting 100 or 1,000, 36th Street North Event Center is the premier event center of North Tulsa, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. Share the experience at 36th Street North Event Center and see why we are the #1 choice for upscale events, from weddings to birthdays, corporate functions, holiday parties, and so much more. Visit us today at 36theventcenter.com or call and reserve your spot at 918-200-9046.
KBOB 89.9 FM News You Can Use, Charles and Damali. Boy, Damali, we are back.
We are back. Doc always has some amazing tips and some insightful information, because sometimes we just don't know what we don't know.
Don't know what you don't know, but then when you do know, then you can do better.
Yes, make a choice to do better. And we want to live. We want to make a choice to live and be better for our children and grandchildren and our community as a whole. Right. So I think that this has been excellent tips, and we'll talk a little bit more with Doc. But right now, we have another special guest in studio.
Yes.
So we have Mr. Ed Sharer in the studio. Ed has been working with us. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give Ed the mic and let him introduce himself.
You had got too excited.
I know. I was going to tell it all, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh, wait, hold on.
No,
you can talk.
Now I want to hear this.
You see, he sat up too, like, go ahead and talk, Damali. Go ahead and tell me what you know about me. But we got a lot of people on the live, man. People all over the country, a lot of people here local. But tell them just a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and anything else you would like to share with people.
Absolutely. Well, I grew up in Tulsa. Lived here since I was 4. I won't tell you how long ago that was.
Oh, okay.
Got to do your homework on that.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And I've worked with community development organizations for a long time. I worked over in Kendall Whittier, and I worked with the Kendall Whittier Main Street program. I was their director for 6 years, and the board and I over there, we did a lot of great work to improve that commercial district. We went from 30% occupancy in Whittier Square to 100% in 5 years.
Wow.
Man.
Local small-owned businesses. And I am honored. I'm extremely honored that the Phoenix Development Council selected me to be their very first executive director.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Yes,
Well,
congrats.
It's an honor because it's a group that has done so many good things in the community. They've been working in the Phoenix district, which, if folks don't know, that is 36th Street North from Peoria to MLK. That's the Phoenix district since 2014.
Right.
Our group led a branding process with the community.
Absolutely.
The
Right.
community picked that name. And
Mhm.
we've had folks, shout out to Miss Tracy Chandler,
Yes.
Miss Tracy Gibbs,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
who owns
Yeah.
the Gibbs Center,
Yes.
Miss Cheryl Lawson. We got folks that have been really doing a lot of things in the neighborhood for a long time, and I'm just honored to be carrying on the work and trying to do as good as we can for the residents that live nearby.
So I will say this, that we have had the pleasure of having many conversations with Ed to kind of reimagine
Yes.
what this space would look like, what our part, because we are community stakeholders. Our building sits right there at 36 in Peoria, and just to think about what we want this space to look like, as we've been putting out and we've been sharing, that this space is going to be like a Cherry Street, where it's walkable space. We want you to
Right.
park your car. We want you to walk. We want you to, be able to enjoy entertainment and music and, be able to eat and, just play all up and down 36th Street North,
Right.
in addition to the housing complex that is actually coming in place of the old Comanche apartments. And so we've had many conversations. And one of them is around how we can create a space where live music lives.
Yes.
Where people can just walk up and, park their cars, have a good time, get something to eat and enjoy. And so Ed embarked on a journey.
Come on.
And so he's going to share a little bit about this journey and our involvement in the journey.
Absolutely. Well, live music brings community together.
Yes.
Or at least a dance contest between me and
Right.
Damali.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, Ed. I just want to let you know.
I've
I got
seen
some moves.
of it.
You
I've
seen some of my moves?
I saw
All
you
right,
at
put
the-
your money on me. Okay.
I saw you at the back to school fest. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was out there. So I'm not challenging you. I know that much. No one needs to see that. But anyway, so we at the Phoenix Development Council, we are partnering up with 4 other districts in Tulsa, Greenwood Main Street, Kendall Whittier Main Street. In Southwest Tulsa, there's the Route 66 Main Street
Yes.
program, and then out east, the Global District around 21st and Garnett. That's
Right.
an
Yeah,
awesome
yeah.
area out there.
Yeah.
We're all coming together, and we have applied for a grant from the Levitt Foundation.
Yes.
They're
Right.
based in Los Angeles, and over 300 communities applied
for
this grant, and we made the top 100.
The
Yes.
top 100.
Which is
okay.
cool.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yes. But
But what that gets us is into a round of public voting. And so the public, that's all y'all that I see you here.
Yeah.
That's all y'all.
all y'all,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's you guys. They're going to make the next cut on Monday night down to the top 50.
Uh-oh.
So, and then the top 50 go to the final round, and they usually pick between 5 and 10 communities. It's a grant that's up to $120,000
Yes.
to do a series of concerts, 7 to 10 concerts a year for 3 years.
Mm.
So it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love is that we have districts working together from all parts of the city.
I
Yes.
love it.
We're all stacking hands. We're all working on it. And so the concerts will be in different parts of the city. We're going to bring live music to every corner of the community.
Yes.
Which I love. That's great, and that people will be coming to different places and all.
Yes.
And so we're excited to be working with our partners. But what we need now is for folks to vote for us.
Yes.
So we can advance on to that next round.
Yes.
So you want me to go and launch into that, or
Okay, go ahead.
you
got the mic.
Yeah, you got the mic.
I got
And
the
look,
mic.
And you're
this is
doing a
out of
great
Los
job
Angeles
so far.
too. So
Yeah.
you see,
So I didn't stop you and say, Ed, that's enough.
That's
So
enough.
keep going.
Okay,
So what do
fair
they need
enough,
to
fair
do?
enough.
Okay.
So what y'all need to do before Monday night at 7 Tulsa time. Okay, 7:00 p.m. So if it's 8 o'clock and you want to vote,
Too late.
can't do that. So what you need to do is send a text. That's it.
Easy.
The number that you want to text is 877-409-5525. Just text the word Tulsa to that number. 877. See, look, Doc's pulling
There
out
you
his phone
go.
right
See
now.
that? See that?
There you go.
Influence. That
Yeah,
influence
exactly.
right there.
877-409-5525. When you get the confirmation text back, thank you, it's going to say you voted for the historic Greenwood district, which is exactly right. They
877
877
Talk like I'm a little slow. Hold on. Go ahead.
409
409
5525.
5525.
Yep.
Okay.
And when you text the word Tulsa, you're going to get a text back saying, "Hey, thank you for your vote for the historic Greenwood Main Street," and that's cool because it's all 5 of us districts partnering, but the Greenwood Main Street is listed as the lead, which is great, you know.
And how many times can we vote?
You just did it. You get 1 vote.
Okay.
Now they say that you can vote for other communities. You can vote for 4 other communities, but like, why would you do that? I mean, why would you give votes to other places?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, no.
See, Ed, what you don't know.
Yeah.
See, Doc can dance too.
Oh, he
We
can.
went, we went to the Ice Cube Snoop Dogg concert. I didn't know he could dance.
Okay.
But we was on like row 5. Somehow he ended up on the floor and they had to bring him back.
Yeah.
That's when I realized. So when you see this come,
I think I threw my back out that.
See, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing it. So.
I don't know if it's a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look like an octopus falling out of the tree. Okay? Like, you don't want to see any of my movies.
And I'll just say this, and we all just kind of weigh in on it. How good when it comes down to music and a place to come out and have a good time. Right. How much of a role do we feel like that play for us and our family when it's just a good, safe spot to go?
That's right.
Live music is going on. For me, I'm going to be by the food trucks. You know, because normally if it's music, we're going to have some food somewhere.
That's right.
But what does that mean to you, Doc? I'll go with you first since the medical report.
Well, listen, I think that music has healing properties.
Yes.
So, you know, it doesn't only galvanize a community and have people come out from different walks of life and show camaraderie and love for the music that they're listening to, but just being out and walking around and feeling joyful, enjoying the music. You're producing endorphins in your brain that helps your brain to function better when you're doing that. You're out walking around, you're improving the blood flow to your heart and your kidneys and your liver and your lungs as you're moving around. And so, music and entertainment, I think, plays a very, very prominent role in health in the community.
Right.
And I would strongly ask folks to make sure that you guys vote.
Just like that. Damali, you as a person that loves to dance,
love it.
When you hear about music and you hear about this opportunity, what does it do for you? And I ask you that because you was born and raised right here. So when you hear about this possibility of just having some live music going on in the city, what do you think about it?
I think that it communing with one another is always a great time.
Right.
I think just being able to get out, out of the house and, just have a few moments where you can just go and just be free, listen to music, hang out with folks that maybe you haven't seen in a long time because, life be lifing, let's just say, just call a spade. And so sometimes you just need the reason to get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you're like, I don't think I'm going out today because I need to do this, and this. But if your favorite artist is coming, you're like, you know what? I'm going to check this out. You know what I mean? And so then now you get to see folks that you haven't seen for a long time. And just, I think for me, I believe that it creates a better, not the medical term that Doc is talking about, but, just a better communal way of being for us all, and just, makes you happy,
Right. And I think for me, on one side, they say music is good for the soul.
Yes.
But then it's another version that said music make you lose
control.
Yes, I don't know which one you are. But anyway, let it be good for your soul.
Right.
We don't want you to lose control, at least
that much.
Contain the control. But I just think it's what I love about the way this is set up, Ed, is it's all around the city.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like
So we're doing something together. So come over here to the Phoenix and let's do what we're going to do. But next week, we're going to be on the west side. Let's go over there and have a good time. The next time, we're going to be on the east side or the south side. So what I like about it sounds like it's a way to pull you together. It was a come and go, and we got there together. So when we get it, because words are powerful, so we better hang out together in Tulsa to be more of like a more inclusive one Tulsa.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I would say that's what more excited. But Ed, you the man behind the microphone. You the one got to submit this stuff. You the one that's behind it. So what is your big thing, your big heart towards it?
Well, I have seen the power of live music. I've seen the power of just that event where you can, like you say, park your car and walk around or just walk from your house 3 blocks to a place where you can bring your kid and you can have that snack. You can have that meal.
Yeah.
You can just hang out in the grass. You can just, those types of things are just, every community deserves that. Every person deserves to have those opportunities. And, so that's what lights me up is helping to create places that people love.
Yeah.
That people are proud to be a part of. Building community. And that's what lights me up. That's what's always lit me up. So this is just an extension of that.
Right.
Which is, what I love your standpoint. We're gonna speak it into existence
Yes.
Right.
when we get it.
Yes.
So
Amen.
I will say, if anyone wants an update, I looked 2 minutes ago right before we got back on. We are currently ranked 38th.
Uh-oh.
So, well, we've been as high as 31 and we've been as low as 43. Now, the top 50 make it.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
38 is okay.
It's
But we're
okay.
there.
But
Right.
we need to get. We need
that's
to get
like
up.
that's not comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and it does change about every few hours. We're kind of
Right.
doing this. So the more people that vote, the better. And let's bring that money here and let's invest that money in our community.
Okay, so we have made a post on our World One Development page.
Right.
We actually did that post on September the 5th. So if you kind of scroll back, and then I'll do some comment or something so it'll pop back to the top,
Right.
or maybe I'll just take a pen and pin it to the top. So, but what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do that so that you guys can see what the number is so that you can go ahead and go vote. We need everybody to vote. I voted. It takes literally, well, you just saw Doc do it.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
people on the
didn't take
live
any
vote
time.
too. Shout out to Uncle
Yeah,
Brian. He
Uncle
said
Brian.
got it done.
Hey, as a
and
matter
that
of
was-
fact, that we may need to get that number back out there so that
Yeah.
Everybody that's on the line, hey, go ahead and put your vote in.
Hey, I'll give it to you. It's 877-409-5525.
Yes.
All you got to do is text the word Tulsa. That's it.
Simple. So
Now let me
easy.
ask you this, because I know AI is kind of taking over. Because the first time you said the number, it popped up on the live, but I wasn't looking to see if you did it. You
No,
didn't?
I didn't.
But on the live, it's on there right now. It's like World One Development.
Okay.
It has the number. It's in there.
Yeah.
Text the word Tulsa. So it's on the live right now for the people that are on there.
Yeah.
And so what I'll say is to encourage people, hey, text a friend, a family
Yes.
member. So what we can at least do to be intentional about this thing, let's all agree to reach out to 10 people,
Yeah.
10 friends,
Mhm.
text them the number, tell them what to do. Is that fair?
Yes.
sounds
And I think we
Absolutely.
can get from 31 up into, I'll be good in the teens.
Yeah,
I don't know about
teens.
you.
Yeah.
Get me
yeah.
15,
Yeah.
16.
Well,
Yeah.
and let's
What
just say this too: when the foundation's going to decide out of the top 50 who we're going to actually give the grants to, this is telling them how many people are going to show up at these concerts.
Yeah.
How many
Exactly.
people want this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's give them as many votes as we can. So they go, Tulsa's got something going on. We need to invest there.
Yeah, and
And,
Tulsa always got something to say. Go ahead, Damali.
Uncle Brian says that Tulsa has always been the home of all types of music.
Right.
So-
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. Ed, thank you so much.
Oh,
I
man.
know you said you're gonna hang around for a little
yeah.
bit
Yeah.
for coming and sharing the information because it's gotten it out to a broader audience. But we're gonna take a break because we got some hump day hot topics that I'm telling you right now, you can't miss it. And it's coming up next right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. News you can use with Charles and Damali. Coming up next are hump day hot topics.
With professionalism and energy, contact World One Development. We host events, have radio personalities, offer community engagement and videography. We also do live radio remotes, red carpet appearances, create promos, event recaps, drops, and flyers. We also create customized advertising packets to promote your business, organization, or program. Visit our website at world1development.com. You can also reach us on social media at World One Development.
Oh, yes, it's bingo night. Bingo! And the money right. Bingo. It's bingo night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Every first and third Tuesday, starting February 4th, it's bingo night at 36th Street North Event Center. Bingo night. Bingo nights at 36th Street North Event Center. Every first and third Tuesday, with lots of cash and prizes to be given away. Doors will open at 6 p.m. and sessions start at 7 and 8 p.m. Game packs starting at only $25. And you could win big. 36th Street North Event Center, 1125 East 36th Street North. Bingo nights. So grab your auntie and uncles and enjoy bingo nights at the 36th Street North Event Center. Concessions and refreshments will be available. And bingo nights at 36th Street North can be enjoyed in a smoke-free environment. Bingo night every first and third Tuesday starting February 4th at 36th Street North Event Center. For more information, call 918-200-9046. Bingo Nights is presented by the 36th Street North Event Center and NYCU.FM. Cash and prizes are based on minimum attendance requirements.
EduRec is the place where education and recreation meets. At EduRec, we have a host of programs such as spring break camp, summer camp, and after school. We also have Black History Saturdays. It's located at 5424 North Madison Avenue. To donate, sponsor, or volunteer for any of our programs at EduRec, go to edurectulsa.com. Call EduRec today at 918-430-3947. And you can also visit us on any of our social media platforms at EduRec Tulsa. EduRec Tulsa, where education and recreation meet.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
hey, guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Hump day! It's hump day! Hey, Mike!
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on news you can use.
Mike. That's my favorite part of that commercial right there.
I know. And we are back. Look, Ed hit a home run, Damali.
He did.
Yeah, hit the home
Absolutely.
run.
Yeah. So you guys need to be voting, sharing the number, and continuing to vote because we want to win.
I want to do some quick shout outs. Cousin Lori.
Hey, Cousin Lori,
welcome
what's
to the
happening?
show. We appreciate you tuning in with us. We got Jeremiah Blackwell. We call
Hey,
him Mississippi of
Jeremiah.
Mississippi. So he's here. We got about another 57 secret listeners. What's up, y'all?
Okay, what
We
y'all
appreciate
doing?
y'all. One day they need to just come on in here. If nothing else, we got some bottled water for you.
Right.
Uncle Bobby in here with his shades on. You know, Steven is here with his suit on. You know,
Right.
it's good vibes in here. It's nothing
Good.
but love. But we appreciate y'all tapping in.
Good
with us.
vibes. And I want to just mention this really quick, and we'll talk about it a little bit later when we come back from the hot topics. But Uncle Brian says that he is fearful from being in the hospital by himself because of the way his wife was treated while she was in the hospital. So we'll unpack that a little bit later as we
As
get
we
back
wrap
to
up.
our But I didn't want to miss that.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we had the opportunity, and actually yesterday I was going to the event center, and I'm like, oh wait, hey, look what's happening! I'm so excited. There has been a gas station on the corner of 36th Street North and North Peoria that has, just been a, sour apple in our community for a long time. While the store was operational, we were
How
like,
long it's been
get it out
there?
of here. I don't know. It's been here as long as I can remember. So
But go
it's
ahead.
been here a long time, but just a crazy place. People are, it just was not a good place. The produce and the things that were in the store were priced way too high, but it was all we had.
I'm just gonna say now, from time to time, and I understood what everybody said, but see, I still get hungry late at night, and I would listen to Damali, but I would still sneak down there, y'all. Get me a little chicken leg with some hot sauce. I can't help it, y'all. Now I'm glad.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Right.
but here's the ticket. Sometimes that's all that you got,
Mhm.
and it would be some unfavorable activity going on. I could
Right.
say that,
Right.
and and it just seems like a lot of times in our community, you always have that,
Mhm.
and sometimes that is the anchor
Yes.
of your community. So
Yeah.
I felt like, even though I went in and got that chicken, shout out to
Right.
the man that was in there. I ain't got no problem with him, and I got me a fruit punch juice. But I don't think that was going to be a representative
Right.
moving forward of what we want the future of the area to look like, if you will.
Exactly. So as you guys know that there has been development on that corner.
Right.
We're building 545 new doors
Yeah.
that are going to be in that space. There is also going to be a grocery store, a bodega right there in that space. And so now that gas station has come down.
Right.
I was so excited when I drove past there. I took pictures and sent them to Charles E. I'm sitting at the stoplight taking
I
pictures.
didn't even know what was going on. Damali driving, I'm talking to her on the phone, and she go, ah! I said, oh, what happened
so
to you?
excited.
Yeah, and then she like, oh, it's going down
It's
because
going
we didn't.
down.
It's like something is coming.
Yes.
Look at Uncle Bobby. He in there
Yes.
doing a percolator right now. But it's going to happen. But then to see it happening, so I'm gonna take, and everybody give they one thought when they seen it coming down. I give mine, you give yours.
Okay.
Doc, you got one. We'll let Ed get one.
Yeah.
I go first, so I get in trouble first. For me, when I seen that go down, my first thought was kind of the title that is the hood went away with that store. That's just really what I felt, because I'm looking at the grand opening of the Phoenix right here. I'm looking at development going over here. The event center, we try to do our thing. I'm looking at crossover, and I'm looking at all that stuff, and I'm like, but what is this? They're like going, what does not fit
Right.
in what's going on here?
Right.
So for me, I felt like when that left, now when you get to that intersection, instead of going, man, I'm in the hood, I think I'm in a place of development,
Right.
of resurgence, Phoenix, if you will. That's my 2 cents, what did it
That
represent
actually,
for you?
that absolutely is what it represents. It represents that times are changing, that, we can reimagine what we want that space to look
Reimagine.
like
Yeah.
and what we want to be there. And to be honest, we actually had an event there where we gave folks the opportunity to imagine what they would like to see in the space.
Right.
And I mean, they came up with some great ideas, dry cleaners and library and coffee shop, and and Ed can kind of speak to some of the other things, but those were the things I remembered. So it's just a time to reimagine what that space could look like.
Hey, we're gonna pass you the ball. So what does it mean? I mean, because this is 10 years. You've been working people, you know about it, but when you see it come down, what does it represent for you?
It represents hope for a brighter future.
Yes.
But not the future that I think, it's the future that we collectively think.
Right.
So we did invite the community to the corner, called it Community on the Corner. It was the name of the event. And we did a block party style. We had some food, we had a DJ, and we asked people, what do you think would thrive on this corner? What would you want to see business-wise on this corner that would help your life, that would be good for the neighborhood? What would you like to see? And they gave us great feedback. They shared their dreams for the community. We had some live art going on. We had Chris Skur, shout out Skur, painting on the back. He did a piece called Dreams.
Right.
Wrote an old writing style, old 80s graffiti style. But that's what I had in mind, because I was out there taking photos in the morning, and I was just thinking, there's a lot of people that have put in a lot of work for years before we even got to this point.
Yeah.
And now we have the chance to move forward and make the dreams of the community reality. So that's what it means to me.
Yeah.
That is
Uncle
awesome.
Brian said that store represented 50 plus years of problems.
That's good to see. Everybody has
their
got
opinion.
point. Now, Doc, what you think?
Well, you know what? It's interesting that and that I'm kind of envisioning if you have a beautiful home, but you have a raggedy front door.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
So your first opinion is going to come as you're driving through that area of that entity that really doesn't represent how we want to move forward.
Right.
So whatever is put there, it needs to pop. It needs to be something that people, as they're driving by, it's like, hey, I want to turn down here. I want to go to 36 North. I think Crossroads is
Crossover right there.
Yeah, Crossover
Across
is right across from there, which is a beautiful school. And so, it will essentially it brings the entire community together. And I think ultimately what it's going to do, it's going to make people excited about being there, because if you have one, even if you got one institution that's there that is old and raggedy and ratchet, well, you know what, people will tend to gravitate towards that, thinking that this is what it's all about, as opposed to, no, we're moving beyond that. So I'm glad that it was done.
Yeah, and this be my last thing, and then we'll go to the live. I'll just say, like with Damali, that's what I love about having somebody just born and raised. You, like, since you was 4, and then when you showed up, the dust, the Lord put the dust together. Anyway, but anyway, it makes me go back 10 years to when we got the 36th Street North Event Center, and we was renovating that building. And we just trying to get it done, because you putting anybody to do development on your own, pennies and nickels, piggy banks, money in socks, money on the mattress, everything is coming out trying to get the building painted and stuff. But what I did notice over those 6 months, we would be out there painting, getting things done. I'm telling y'all, it would be 30 people sitting on the sidewalk, kids, older people, seasoned people, people from Comanche, people just walking by, and they would just be sitting out there.
Watching.
And then you'll go up and say, hey, what's going on? They said, we just never even imagined anything good would even be happening. And they would sit out there for hours, bring their lunch, sit, eat a sandwich, eating chips. And it was like, we just so happy y'all doing something, something beautiful that we can see, and I thought that was awesome. So it makes me think about that, because at the same time, we're working with the Phoenix. We working with the double Tracy's, them two tough Tracy Chandler, Tracy Manning Gibbs. So we've been a part of that this whole 10 years. And we was hoping that the event center would be hope that a day like today could happen of doing things like this. So
that's fantastic.
Damali, I just always say that because I'm always looking at it from that lens, but I like to get the homegrown people point. So for you, to now be at that point, because we were all at the church
Mm-hmm.
over that other building. You know, the old meetings of 2 or 3 people at first, and then all the people from the city come in. But now it's here.
Mm-hmm.
And our community, a lot of times people talk about it, but they never show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but here it has shown up, Damali. So what do you think that means for you, like as a representative of people that were just born and raised?
Well, I think
here?
that, you know, it lets us know that development is possible in our community, because for
Yeah.
so long we've been promised things
Yeah.
and then they never materialized.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we have some generations that have died and gone on to heaven, and they've missed the opportunity of being able to see these things that have been promised generation after generation after generation. So I think, you know, that building being torn down is representative of the future and what's to come. And I'm excited to see and to be a part of whatever ends up being on that corner. And I hope that we can stay engaged in a way with developers where the community's voice is heard and things are not just
Right.
thrown up, you know, that other folks want that don't reside in our community. And the reason I say that is because, you know, what works in one community doesn't work in every community.
Right.
Just we found out the hard way when we decided to do EduRec. You know, we thought we're going to make this an incredible pizza and the kids are going to come out, they're going to play video games. But then we got to doing it. We thought these kids need education.
Yeah.
You know, these kids need, you know, support, you know, resources and support to help these families, you know, survive.
Right.
You know, so then it's like, do away with the video games and let's do something different.
Mhm.
So each community has its own thing that it requires and that it needs to help it survive. And so I'm hopeful that we all get a voice and what that looks like and what's going to, you know, be there. So
100%. And you know, I want to give a shout out. You've had him on the show, Reggie Ivy.
Yes.
Over
yeah.
at Northside
Yeah.
Neighbors.
yes.
That's a nonprofit that we work with very, very closely.
Right.
You know, we love them. Shout out Kelsey as well.
Yes.
Over there, Kelsey Burrell. We absolutely agree that anything that happens in this community, anything that you do for the community that you don't do with a community,
Mhm.
you're doing to the community.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we
I like
want to
that.
do this with residents. We want this to be reflective of the community
Mhm.
that is there. And I mean, we're going to plant a flag for Black entrepreneurship and Black culture
Yes.
there in the Phoenix district.
Wow.
Right.
We're going to build that unapologetically. We're going to wave that flag.
Mhm.
And the folks who want to come and experience and participate, come on down and do that. And the folks who don't. That's great.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but I think I shared with you guys one time, like if you're in a big city and you're in Chinatown, you know exactly where you are.
Exactly.
That's what
Right.
I want. You know, 36th Street North in Peoria. Personally, I want that for Tulsa for people to go. That is where
That's my identity. That's the identity.
that's
of
the
community.
identity.
Yes.
Is
Right.
that is where I can go
Yeah.
experience local Black culture.
Yes. I
and
love it.
leadership.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
love
And I
it.
love it. And Ed, because me and Ed, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
We said we think it's 15 minutes, it's 2 hours later, it's 3
Exactly.
hours later, and we just, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and it is inclusive, so engaged. Now, Ed, the $1 million question
Yeah.
before we switch gears, because I know we got another hot topic.
Yeah.
Everybody want to know what's going on those corners.
Okay. So the good thing is that our friends at Northside Neighbors actually own those lots. They've
Mhm.
been deeded over to them. And so we are going to spend, Northside Neighbors, Phoenix Development Council, we're going to spend time continuing to talk to the community. We're also talking to small business owners about who would want to plant a flag here. We're making that case for, if you come here, you're going to have a market. You're going to be successful. You're going to thrive here. And so we're going to work in concert with everybody to build something that the community is proud of,
Mhm.
that is attractive, that serves the needs of the residents immediately nearby, but even in that like 3-5 mile radius,
Mhm.
people coming, you know, to enjoy and bring in entrepreneurs and small business owners that have the absolute best chance of success, you know, to thrive as possible. So it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen behind closed doors. You know, we're going to be asking the community what they want. Community at our event a few weeks ago said very loud and clear that food was at the top of their mind. They want something there where they can
Right.
get something to eat, and whether that's coffee and breakfast or whether that's, you know, get a plate, you know, during the middle of the day or at night, whatever.
Right.
So don't be surprised if there's some food on that corner,
Mhm.
but
That would be wonderful
Yeah,
for us at the
yeah,
event center.
yeah.
Right.
Because we're
But-
always hungry.
but there will be other things
Right.
on both corners,
Mhm.
and then we're not done when it's just those two corners.
Right.
So, you know, this is going to set the tone, but then it's going to continue on.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So those of you who are saying, oh, they're just going to turn it into another quick trip. Ed didn't say nothing about a quick
He
trip.
didn't say
Okay,
nothing
so
about-
we just want to make that
Or
clear.
Starbucks.
Or
Yeah.
a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it's participation. This is group participation.
Yeah.
We need your help for you to get out here and vote, and about what you want to see, even with the live music, but also to be able to be a part of these meetings and these convenings that are taking place, because we need your assistance. Don't complain about whatever goes on that corner if you didn't show up for a meeting.
And let's do this just to explore. If you're on the live, let us know what you think should be on that corner. Damali, me and you,
Yeah.
Doc, and if we dreamed, we hitting the corner now. Back in the day, so I hit the corner, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Got to turn.
Ah,
Don't spill my whatever. We ain't gonna do that.
not
But
the
anyway,
yak, not the yak.
3 things on the, if you had to think, just you yourself personally, how long?
Absolutely,
if
some food restaurant or something that you can get like later, because typically by about 9:00 everything is shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Charles and I struggle with trying to find something. If we're at an event that is happening at the event center and it goes to 1 a.m. or something, there's like nothing. I'm bringing bread and peanut butter and jelly, for us to have something to eat. So definitely something of that nature. I would think maybe something like a coffee shop, donut shop, where you can go in and actually sit, hear music, and actually work. Sometimes it has some kind of workspace to it. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, and I won't put a name on what that is, but I definitely like a workable space.
Yeah,
a workable space, but you can grab a nice sandwich that's healthy.
Yeah.
It's good. Now I want a burger too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you're trying. So a spot not just for adults. I think if it could be where we can also join with the youth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A place to
Kid-friendly,
design
yeah.
where it's youth and adult friendly, where we can coexist together, but in a way where we can start back interacting, where it don't just always seem like the youth have to have something going on over here, and then adults got to have some, and then we don't want to deal with each other, because when we were younger, it was set up where the whole family could come together.
Right.
Yeah.
Grandma and grandpa and them doing this, we playing our spades and dominoes or whatever y'all used to play, but everybody got something to do. So in my mind, create something where it gives such an energy that you're not thinking about violence.
Right.
So that's getting to the right color. But you're thinking about, wow, this is a good spot where if I'm a kid, I'm on a football or basketball team, I'm a young lady, I'm a cheerleader, I can bring my laptop, I can grab a sandwich, I can hang out here till mom, dad pick me up, and Dr.
And I
Freddy's,
think that would be
that
great
kind of thing
for,
is what I'm
like the
thinking.
kids at crossover, when they're in
Can
transition,
they walk
they can walk up, grab something to eat, and then go back to the school if need be. Yeah. So something that's going to serve the tenants that are going to be over at Phoenix at 36 and the other developments that are coming, that'll just serve them where you can just run over and grab something,
That kind of thing. That's good.
Well, in my
What
line
do
of
you
work,
think? Okay.
in my line of work, they call those third places. It's
Okay.
not your home, it's not your work, it's that third place where you go and just be and hang out, and the community happens there.
Right.
So that can be your church, that can be the library,
Mhm.
that can be the barber shop, that can be the coffee shop, can be a park, but those places are important to building community, and I've heard folks say, oh yeah, man, the old guys used to meet up, the men used to meet up at the McDonald's at Pine
they
Peoria
did.
There you go.
They
and
did.
have coffee every morning and just
Right.
talk about the world's problems.
Mhm.
Well, great. We need those places. Where are those places now?
Right.
And why can't there be a local example in the Phoenix district where
Yeah.
people can come and just be?
I love that.
I like that.
love
Doctor, you rolling over to the north side. You coming to see me and Damali, but you got there an hour early.
Yeah.
So you looking for a spot where you can kind of set up. What does that place look like?
Well, I can't help but think about restaurants like Cicero's and Fixin's, and having something like that there.
Mhm.
You know what? We are a community in transit, so
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe locations where you can have food trucks that can be situated in such a way where it can be kind of an outdoor environment where there's music, there's food trucks, it's
Oh, I love that.
light, you can kind of move around a little bit.
Mhm.
Right.
I think every community, particularly if you're in North Tulsa, needs to have a community garden of some kind,
Mhm.
and where you can get fresh fruits and vegetables, you can get flowers, you can get things of that sort. So you got 2 corners. Maybe on one corner you have something that will more or less take care of you a little later on in the evening, and then maybe on the other corner, maybe you have
that.
like a community garden, or something that will allow you to have folks who can bring produce and you can do things of that sort to
Right.
that's another form of entrepreneurship.
Right.
I love the idea of having a black owned coffee shop. I mean, there are a couple of them here that are in town, but the thing is, that's going to be a long strip of land.
Right.
And so we can do things like, most schools, like if you go to Broken Arrow, I mean, they have a community of fast food places that kids that are very close to them. We should have something like that, but hopefully the fast food will be of a higher quality than what we typically see with fast food. So, so there's a lot of things that we can do, but it needs to be inviting. That the previous establishment wasn't inviting.
No.
And so when you turn down that street or when you're driving through that community, it needs to be, the light bulb needs to go on that, hey, you know what? That's someplace I want to go.
Yeah.
That's
you know
it.
what? And just to piggyback off of what you said, I love the idea of some kind of food truck park or something like that, simply because you can change the cuisine.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to have this same thing all the time.
And food trucks are open later.
Yeah.
So,
and they're open later.
So and the thing is, if once that's all built up, even in the middle of the week, people are going to be out there, whether they're listening to music or whether they're doing other things, that those food trucks, there will still be dollars that will be available to them at 11 o'clock at night or midnight, as opposed to right
Shutting
now
down.
the way things are.
And I like I'm just calling it a universal spot. I'm just making up my own words. Y'all know I do that. But I like when you have places where garage doors go up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And now the tables and stuff are outside.
Inside is outside.
And inside. So
Yeah,
during
yeah,
the day, the garage, and it look like it's all inclusive. But at night, that comes down, the atmosphere change, the ambience change, and you still, like you said, you can go from breakfast, lunch, now you're into the dinner time, but you can pull those down.
And I would say even something with a more healthy option, because most of the time when it gets late, we're at fried chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Only. So because we do have these problems with obesity and high blood pressure and all of these things in our community, I think something that's going to give you that healthy option, that healthy food choice that is open late still, or available later. So.
Okay, well, Uncle Brian, and then we'll switch to the next Hump Day Hot Topic. You can tell we can keep this thing going, but that's what happening when you're trying to reimagine. Uncle Brian said they should build something like the Mother Roads Market with all types of different foods. So I think, Uncle Brian, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, second hot topic that might be a little hotter.
Second hot topic. It seemed like our mayor and our governor are banging in Little Rock. I don't know what's going on.
Why you got to bring Little Rock into it? Now,
I'm
we're doing
just
better
saying.
in my city. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm just saying, go ahead. But it is a little, disagreement. We'll bring it down one level with these two. What's going on?
You know what? I think that I don't know. Let's just go to the article. So the article says that our governor has started something called Operation Safe. It's now in its 5th day, and concerns are mounting over the initiative's impact to Tulsa's homeless community. Governor Kevin Stitt has presented the unhoused with 2 choices. They can either accept transportation to a shelter or treatment facility or face jail time. That is their options. However, members of the homeless community argue that limited shelters leave them with few viable options. They say that there's a lack of available shelter space. Now, anybody who knows anything about Tulsa knows that our mayor, he ran one of his on his platform to end homelessness by 2030. So this is a something that he is very well aware of in our city, and he is diligently working towards trying to rid our city of that issue. And so for our governor to kind of like just interject himself, it's kind of crazy. District 4 City Councilwoman Laura Bellis criticized Operation Safe as a temporary solution that fails to address the root cause of homelessness, which is what our mayor is trying to do. She pointed out that what the governor has done is hastily and unstrategic, and so ultimately is wasting a lot of people's power, time, and resources. She says she sees it as a real missed opportunity. If he had really come to support us locally and collaborate, we definitely could use people, power, and help. Everyone could always use more help. So basically, the powers that be in our community think it's just a big waste of time, and it's kind of like flexing your power instead of really helping the people.
Yeah, and I'm going to try not to get too far in the weeds on this, but I'm just going to tell you what I think. It seemed like they had something going on dealing with the tribes. And that thing, and it seemed like they was on different sides of the table on that. And to me, it almost seemed like this thing with the homeless is just like a reaction to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that you don't use the most vulnerable people, our homeless people, as a political
Yeah.
thing, is what it feels like to me. I hope
Right.
that's not it. And you know, and it is saddening because I just prefer for our leaders to work together, especially a governor and a mayor. But that's a lot right there. You got any thoughts, Doc?
Well, listen, you have a mayor that ran on a platform of ending hopelessness, which is hopeless. And then you don't incorporate him in a plan to actually implement that. You just kind of create something. And it seems to me to be very easy to make decisions that are not in your backyard. He's up in Oklahoma City. He's doing whatever he's doing in Oklahoma City. And so it's really easy for you to implement a edict that's in a whole nother community that you don't drive through, and you don't typically see those individuals on a regular basis. But why would we think that this governor would do anything other than what he's always done?
Good point.
Yeah. So he seems to want to echo the mantra of our present political structure, and he's kind of riding right along with it. I don't know if he's looking for another spot. Maybe he wants to move up politically,
higher level.
but it seems that he's trying to follow the same playbook that our present president is following.
My thought too is I just view the governor as the CEO of the state.
Yeah, well, that's what he's supposed to do.
And I view our mayor as the CEO of the city.
Yeah.
In Tulsa, of course, it's the second largest city, you know what I mean, in Oklahoma.
Right.
So I just think sometimes maybe when you disagree on this, then I can flex on you with
Because
this,
I can, exercise my power.
I can exercise my power and there's nothing nobody can do. But I think that, and sometimes even doing that, when you look and see, I see so many, OHP, Oklahoma Highway Patrol. I mean, when I was coming to the radio station, I got off on Peoria. I know I seen 15 of them, and it's like they burning up stuff. And I just think that there's always a right way to do whatever you're trying to do. It's a way that you still can do it together. Because if you got the mayor and city councilors like speaking against it, then we still being an example to our community. We being an example to our kids. We being an example to a lot of people. And I just think this may not be the best example. So my final thought on that, I just hope they can find a way to work it out. Because they just voted on something. The councilors a few weeks ago about the homelessness and maybe standing out on corners and some of that. So I'm just saying let's be kind, because what you do to the least of these,
Yes, indeed.
You know what I mean?
And it's really unfortunate, because today when I was on my way over here to the studio, I saw there's a homeless encampment that's right off of when you get off the expressway on Peoria, and they were out there with bulldozers and they were knocking stuff down, and there's police out there and all kinds of stuff. And in my mind, I'm thinking, where are these people gonna go now? And the little bit of stuff that they had, now you've destroyed it, and dumped it in a dumpster somewhere. And now they got to start all over again. That's how they got in the situation in the first place. Where are they going?
Well, and what ends up happening is that you push people,
right?
You push people far enough, then they will act outside of themselves. Right. And so, and that now is just going to create a situation where we have masses of people that are homeless that may do things that they otherwise would not do, other than
because they're desperate. Yeah.
But when you are essentially, hundreds of miles away from that location, it's really easy to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, in Tulsa when we're living in Oklahoma City.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as a leader, then when you kind of view this homeless, because we all trying to do things to make Tulsa better for all of us. But when you kind of see something like this going on, what is kind of your take?
Well, there's the quick way to score points and get in front of a microphone, and then there's the real work.
Yeah.
And I drove by. I got off at Pine and Peoria. I got off 75 there, and I saw them bulldoze and everything. And then I went. Now, don't hold this against me. I had Popeyes for lunch. So I went around the corner. But what I saw what was very obviously an older black man who was probably homeless with his belongings in that deep patch of grass on the northwest corner over there by the Wendy's. So all he did was he moved 2 or 3 blocks. He had to move all of his stuff. Yeah. Because, Governor Stitt's actions, it's on state property. Well, all this gentleman did was just move over to city-owned property.
Yeah.
Nothing got better for him.
Right.
Nothing got
Right.
better.
Right.
Nothing got better for anybody. And like you said, their tent, their change of clothes. Some folks have like their documents and have
Yes.
to, whatever they got. Now it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know,
It's short-sighted.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Sure.
governor was practically laughing about that in
Yeah.
the media, and this is
And then that's not the first time that he's
Yeah.
he's done and said things that
yeah,
shows that what his agenda is not an agenda for all.
that's I
All
agree.
right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
agree.
I know we could go on with that. We'll switch
Yeah.
gears. We only got about 5 more minutes. But anyway, let's just be in prayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For our homeless. And if you can help them or lend a hand or just do something
Yeah.
within your power, then we're just going to say do that as we sort through the higher ups trying to figure that big issue out.
Uncle Brian says, put them both in a ring and let them duke it out.
Oh,
Still is still
Uncle Brian,
mad.
see?
Monroe called him out for making a deal with the Creek Nation. So now he's working with the Orange Demon to get back at Tulsa.
Uncle Brian went all the way out. But
Right.
what I was thinking, I saw that with the tribes, and I know that's big,
A big
and that's
deal, yeah.
business. If this feels personal, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Uncle
all right.
Brian for Senate. How about that?
Yeah. Uncle Brian for Senate.
Love you, Uncle
All
Brian.
right.
Appreciate it.
Here
All
we
right,
go. Black History trivia question. We're
let's get our
back on track. All right, so Black History trivia. Here we go. What country just launched a new internet system that will bypass that of Western influence? Is it A, Africa, B, Russia, C, Asia, or D, South America? Now, looks like Martisha said A. Michael Brewer said B, and so did Jeremiah. Charles, you never did even give an answer.
and that's all I was sitting here thinking, and I was supposed to go first.
Yeah.
I think
you
I'm
you're
ready.
Slick. Okay,
Go ahead, Doc. What you got?
Doc, what you got?
I'm on.
Charles
him and Ed got.
thinking he's slick.
Well, listen, I'm going to use deductive reasoning here. So
Okay.
since we're talking about Black History question,
Yeah.
I'm going to say Africa.
Okay.
but my heart of hearts makes me think it's Asia.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So,
Ed, you
so
want to take
A
a
is your
swing?
final answer.
The doc absolutely stole my thunder. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, if we're talking about Black history,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where else are we gonna go?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
AJ said D.
AJ said D. All right, AJ. Well, if you said A, Africa, you would
Uh-oh.
be correct.
uh-huh.
It is called. You never did even give your.
I
answer.
said A.
You did not.
What did
You
y'all hear?
are-
I heard it.
I
heard
Ed
it.
heard. I got a witness.
Ed gonna
All I
roll
need is
with
one
you.
witness.
Yeah.
I said A.
Okay. Okay, Africa. It is called Africa's Continental Internet Exchange, and it represents a move toward digital independence. For Western internet monopolies, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, it means losing some control over infrastructure, data flow, and market dependency.
I like
It's
that.
plausible that Africa spends nearly $1 billion annually on IP transit.
Ooh.
Shifting this just a fraction of traffic to localized routes could save hundreds of millions per year, which can be now reinvested into infrastructure, startups, affordable internet, or digital sovereignty.
I like that.
Man, that is
So we're going to be
heavy.
hearing a lot more about this in the future. I got a guy that's going to come in and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. So yeah,
That is
Africa
great.
is on the move.
Smart. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that's
30 years from now, it's not China and it's not India. It's Africa.
it's
Yeah.
Africa
Yeah.
with a move like that.
That's where the growth
Yeah.
is happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It might be time to think about going back to the motherland.
Man, I
Real.
mean, they've got their own email system.
Yes,
You know,
indeed, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
And I just didn't expect it right now. We just in the climate with stuff just kind of really,
Well, and
really
I
crazy.
think
They
that
back
that's the
behind them.
beauty of it.
Yeah,
you know,
that I
because
didn't-
people are living life, not even thinking, and then boom, they drop it on you like, what? You know, so
Well,
yeah.
listen, with the way the world is now, with the amount of turmoil that there is in all of these major, heavily developed countries,
Right.
Mhm.
you're going to have people with power, with money, and with prestige that are going to want to downshift
Mhm.
and put their time and energy into underdeveloped communities
Yeah.
where they can have a greater foothold in how things are done.
Mhm.
Right.
And Africa, speaks of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
So-
move like that intensifies it. Okay.
So this week's Black History Trivia question is sponsored by Black History Saturdays. And the banned book of the week is Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. So you guys
Oh.
check that out.
I start singing if I could sing.
Don't do it.
Y'all sung that at
Do
church. Go
not.
Tell it on the mountain. Y'all know about
Do
that
not.
over the
I
hills and
know about
everywhere.
it, but don't.
You almost said you went, tell it. Okay. All right.
No, we're not.
We're going to get a little music. We're going to hit these upcoming events. Get your pen and your pad out. Do we want to do the 3 tips?
Yeah, let's do
First,
that.
Doc, we're going to slow it down.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell people, look, here are the 3 tips that you can do personally
Yeah.
that brings about a better quality of life. Here are 3 tips if you have to go into the hospital of how to maybe some etiquettes in the hospital that'll get
Okay.
you better served.
All right. So the 3 tips at home, I would say, as I've been saying all along, you got to know your numbers. Okay.
Know your numbers.
Everyone should have a blood pressure cuff at home. If you are diabetic, you need to have a blood glucose monitor at home. You
Right.
need to have those things. 2, I think people need to make a true critical assessment of themselves. And that may be looking at yourself butt naked in a mirror.
There you
And
go.
kind of looking at your skin and looking at your weight and looking at yourself and kind of envisioning a better version of yourself and what that may entail.
Right.
And that what usually that means is that, hey, I have to eat a little bit better, exercise a little bit more, sleeping better is incredibly important. And I'd say the third thing is that, if you are on medications, be compliant on medications. That's one of the more frustrating things for me, the number of people that I see that I may have seen a second, third, fourth time, or maybe it's my first time seeing them, but they've been seen by other providers before that just, they won't take their medications. Now, if it is, well, I'm having side effects. Okay, well then don't stop taking the medication until you have a new medication.
Right.
So you know what, if that means that, you deal with side effects for a period of time, I would rather that if it's controlling your blood pressure for that to be a better option than for you just to stop.
Right.
So I have a question, Doc. So what if, like, I'm a person who I am totally against taking meds, just because I haven't had to do it, and I just always feel like, if you start taking this, then something else is going to go wrong, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of people who have that mentality. What do you say to those folks?
Well, first, it starts with your numbers. Maybe your numbers are indicative of the fact you don't need to be on a medication. But if your numbers, let's just, hypertension is the easiest thing. Let's say you are hypertensive. Okay, well, doing a critical assessment of yourself, you may say, look, you know what? I'm about 10 to 15 pounds overweight. So let me do some things from a dietary standpoint to try to get myself into an area of where maybe with my weight under better control, my blood pressure's under better control.
Yes.
But at the same time, too, we also have to be thoughtful from the standpoint that, look, if your blood pressure is, after doing all of those things, your blood pressure is still 180, to 220 over 110 to 120, you need to be on a medication.
Yeah,
and it may be a matter of, okay, let's find a medication that will work for you that you're not getting side effects. Most people feel like, okay, I'm going to get some devastating side effect, which again, side effects are a very small percentage, but they do happen. But knowing that knowing what your medications are will give you a greater chance of making sure if you do have a side effect, you know what you're taking, and then hopefully those things can be changed.
Just like that. Now, your show is when? What time?
It's Friday at noon. Our Community, Our Health. We have healthcare providers from mental health. We have last week I actually did a show on obstructive sleep apnea, and we also have a financial component. And we have a non-traditional component that my beautiful bride actually takes care of. So, it is geared around teaching our community health in a lot of different varieties of ways.
Health is wealth. Ed, my friend,
Hey.
thanks for coming in. We got a lot of people still on. Whatever your final thoughts, you might want to give them that number to vote one more time.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to say, if you want to stay in touch with what's happening in the community, first you got to listen to this show.
Okay.
Come on.
See?
And then you got to
Yes,
follow us on
Ed coming back.
Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Just look up Phoenix District Tulsa.
Right.
And then to vote to bring some of that grant money for live music, you need to text the word Tulsa to 877-409-5525.
All right.
Just like that, Ed. I appreciate you, my friend. And you see how his voice changed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to
Like,
have
I'm
him like
serious.
once a month. You see
Serious.
that?
Yeah.
I'm serious about it. Uncle Brian said one of the Asian countries just had a riot because of banning social media. Crazy.
Yeah.
What we got with the upcoming
All right,
events?
so
Damali?
upcoming events, I only have a couple. Don't forget to tune in to Soul of Sunday every Sunday from 1:00 p.m. until 3:00 p.m. on nycu.fm or on Facebook at nycu.fm or Corey D. Taylor. Black History Saturdays is actually this Saturday, September 13th, from 9:00 a.m. until 3:00 p.m. It's going to be at Edgerac Youth and Family Fun Center, located at 5424 North Madison Avenue. So make sure you get signed up. You can go to blackhistorysaturdays.com in order to sign up. And the 30th annual Stone Awards are going to be happening October 17th through 18th in Memphis, Tennessee, Shelby County. Charles, Uncle Bobby, and I will be receiving awards. And so if you guys are interested in going to Memphis and being a part of the audience as we receive these awards, because these awards are really about Black Wall Street.
Right.
We just were the vessels that were chosen.
Right.
For the work that we've been doing in the community, and making sure that the community had a voice.
I got a tagline.
Oh God.
Black Wall Street on Beale Street.
Okay.
Oh, hey now.
That'll
So
work.
Memphis is not far from Tulsa. Y'all made me knock my phone down.
Yeah. No, that's
Black
good.
Wall Street on Beale Street. You see
Yeah,
that?
I like
It's
that.
October, so you got a month. So if you've been in Tulsa, like, man, I want to go somewhere, but I want to go too far. If you have not been to Memphis, if you have not been to Beale Street, you talk about music, food, a vibe, and all of that. And we're going to be getting an award at the Stone Award. Y'all come hang out with us, man. What's that phone number one more
So
time?
you can call 901-273-5038. I'll say it one more time, 901-273-5038 to get information about ticket sales, hotels, and just, to know more about the events that are going to be happening, because it's a multi-day event. Okay. But, you can just come and just hang out for just that Saturday if you would like, for the award ceremony.
And if you call that number, you're going to get a special discount.
We got the
just say
Black
you're from Black Wall Street.
discount.
Just say Black Wall Street. You're going to get a good discount. So
now, if y'all ain't from Black Wall Street, don't be saying that.
Say it. I would. Go ahead.
All right, birthdays. September 10th, which is today, right? We have Representative A.J. Pittman has a birthday.
Hey, that's right. Happy
Arlisha
birthday.
Walker and
Happy
Trey Dotson over at Greenwood Ave has a birthday. And your friend Renee Wade.
Renee Wade
has a birthday.
Yeah, out of Crossett, Arkansas. You got to be from Arkansas to know about Crossett.
I don't know.
Shout out to my
Sorry.
sister.
Yeah.
Love you.
All right, September 11th, Tish Nutley, who is a barber and stylist right here in our community.
Right.
Merliana Dick, who is over Education for Scholars, and Crash have a birthday.
What? Happy birthday, y'all.
September 12th, we have Kiore Taylor and Dr. Janetti Marshall.
Happy birthday.
And then September 13th, Clement Rowe over at Supreme Auto, and Koresh Lazana over at Black History Saturdays has a birthday.
That is a lot of birthdays. I'm
A
gonna
lot
go
of
back.
birthdays.
I'm going back 9 months. There was some freaky stuff going on 9 months before this September. There's a lot going on with these birthdays.
Right, a lot
but I ain't gonna get too far into it, but happy
Yes,
birthday to all of y'all. Much love.
Exactly.
It was a Merry Christmas.
It was a Merry Christmas. That's exactly, and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, don't forget you can hit us up on any of our social media platforms. That's World One Development, 36th Street North Event Center, Edgerac Youth and Family Fun Center, Fitting Back In, Prison Reentry, or NYCU.FM.
Also, to reach us here on the show for advertising, hosting, marketing, promos, community engagement, or to appear live on our show, just go to nycu.fm and complete that form, and one of our staff will reach out to you. Please go subscribe to nycu.fm to keep up to speed on all the latest things that are going on. This has been News You Can Use. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper.
And I'm Damali Wilson.
And we live with Mr. Ed and Dr. Ferdu. And Mr. Stephen Keys and Uncle Bobby. And we out of here. Love y'all.
Yes. The views. Oh, you got it.
On our show, inbox us on Facebook at World One Development. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use with Charles Harper and Damali Wilson. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individual associated with KBOB 89.9. This is World One Development's News You Can Use.